New England gardening with a citrus update. You can imagine with this heat and humidity, really has sprung the citrus trees back to life and has encouraged new growth. This here is the Miwa kumquat. It was pretty much bare. It just had, let's see, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these leaves here got sunburn when I put it outside. That's pretty much all it had. And then in the past couple of weeks, all this new growth. And that's in the 5-1-1 mix, which is mostly pine bark nuggets sifted through 1/2-inch mesh. So this is doing good. And here's the Tango Mandarin hanging in there. They put out some new flowers. I had it in the greenhouse. I decided to put it in the full sun. And with the heat and humidity, it's put out all this new growth. And it's put new growth out farther on down. That's still above the graft. So that's encouraging. I got a new branch here. And flowers. Here is the Shinato Orange, which I really don't put much use to. I really like the look of the leaves. Sort of like an evergreen tree, looking tree. But I think these are mainly used for cooking, so should probably do a little research and figure out maybe I can do something with stir-fry with these. But has fruit setting. I think a couple just dropped there. And that seems kind of dry. This is in a turfus mix, which it doesn't seem to mind. After you get that watered, it's like, I don't know, 95 degrees out. Here's a Meyer lemon tree, improved Meyer lemon tree. You can see the new growth here. The bush shape. Doesn't look like it has any fruit on it. It's resting, I guess. It's putting out new growth, at least. And here's an Harare Satsuma with, I don't know, penny-sized fruit on it. It is dropping some. It's not, well, it is putting out some new growth. Should step up the fertilizer on it. Looks kind of pale, or a dull green color. And here's a dwarf Harare Satsuma. And it doesn't look like it has any fruit on it. Oh, there's one right there. Oh no, there's a couple and they're all hiding. There's two here. It looks like there's, I gotta support this branch here. Looks like it's got about four fruit on it. 4 or 5. Oh yeah, they're all hiding. Oh. It's hard to see. There's 5 right here on a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all in the lower branches. Nothing on the upper branches. Oh, and I'm wrong again. There's 2 right up at the top, the very top here. And the first improved Meyer lemon tree, the one that I squished with a car jack by accident. Still hanging in there. It's really building up the bark on the damaged side here. It's got like nothing here. But this is really getting thick. And this inner core is slowly rotting away. So hopefully this will close eventually someday and just wrap around here. And that damage will be history. There are fruit, our lemons, there's lemons, new growth. Now those first 2 were dwarf trees. This, I think, is a semi-dwarf or just a regular sized Meyer lemon tree. So if I give it more room, it'll get bigger. But what I would like to do today is put it in a larger container. This is the original shipping container that I received this tree in. It arrived in beautiful condition, and then during the first winter it dropped all its leaves. Then last year it had nothing but flowers, dropped all its flowers, did nothing for the first half of this year. I was going to do some major pruning, and then all of a sudden it put out a flush of new growth. I see this branch here going like completely changing direction. I might want to prune that someday. The ends here are not showing any growth, just a little bit, so I wonder if I should prune back to the first portion of just after the new growth here, the flush of growth. I mean, this is trying to struggle to put out some, but I was feeling the temperature on this pot. It's pretty warm, so I put it into a lighter pot, give it a little bit more leg room, and put it into a 5-1-1 mix. And hopefully the rest of the summer it'll appreciate that and put on some really good growth, make some good progress. So that's what I want to do. So I already have the sifted pine bark, and it doesn't matter what container you use as long as you use the right proportions. So unfortunately I can't seem to find good larger size perlite, so it doesn't seem to be giving me too much trouble. I know that the local big box store now carries the industrial size perlite instead of the smaller bags, but it's still a small size. I tried to sift some of it, it's just not worth it. The small percentage of good sized pieces I'd get wouldn't amount to a cup, so I'll stick with this smaller perlite. And the organic retail garden, organic garden soil I use seems to work. So let's mix up some and up pot this, improve my lemon tree. I'm going to put in about a half a cup of garden lime. Some Satsuma coat fertilizer. Put some pieces of bark on the bottom just to plug up the holes. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. I'm just scraping the, it looks like we had a whole section here that was rotting. You know, those came off pretty easily, those roots. So I exposed the roots on the top here. I think it was a little bit Too much soil on the top there. What I really like about this mix is not just that it works, but it's so light. Something like this, you can really just pick it up. Incredible. So that looks good. Nothing's perfectly perpendicular to the earth, but that looks pretty good. I think I'll add another stake on the outside perimeter of the new mix. So it's not really holding it in. Unless maybe I water it, maybe watering it. So, this is New England Gardening, repotting my improved Meyer lemon tree. Looks like that mix is going to be a lot better than this real dense, thick, boggy stuff it was in. At least it'll venture into this new stuff. You know, I didn't disturb the root ball that much. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see how this tree progresses.